Imagine this, a hospital, late at night, a patient on the operating table, doctors ready, and machines humming. And suddenly, silence. Screens freeze, and systems shut down. Not because a storm hit the power grid, but because someone sitting thousands of kilometers away decided to press enter. And the law? Well, the law sat there blinking and still loading the page. This isn't science fiction. This happened in real life, in Ireland, in New Zealand, and beyond. Lives on the line, and the justice system is still struggling to decide which country should file the paperwork. We used to say no one is above the law. Well, today criminals simply go around it through fiber optic cables. International law was built on a world of borders, sovereignty, territory, and jurisdiction. And cyberspace, it does not care about borders, visas, or custom officers. It moves faster than your internet can load a YouTube ad. We have criminals attacking banks in Europe, hiding in basements in Asia, laundering money in Africa, and routing traffic through 5 countries, and all of this just for fun. And our legal system still believes that crime is still happening in one place at a time. If international law were a person, it would still be waiting in line for passport control. For example, take the 2021 ransomware attack on the Irish National Health System. Hospitals were paralyzed, surgeries postponed, patients, real people suffered. Investigators traced the attacks to multiple countries, which raised a few very simple legal questions. Whose job is to prosecute? Whose law applies? And which court has the authority? And international lawyers collectively said, oh yeah, good question. Meanwhile, the hackers probably just ordered pizza and moved on. Cybercrime is global, but law is still local. International law was designed for land, ships, and diplomats. Not data packets, botnets, AI-generated fraud, and deepfake presidents declaring fake wars. Imagine applying 19th century maritime law to a spaceship. That's roughly what we are doing so far. Let's talk law for a moment, because this is TEDx and not Netflix. Sovereignty. Each state controls its territory. Jurisdiction. A state punishes crimes on its land. And about the mutual legal assistance? Well, governments politely emailing each other and waiting 3 months for reply. All brilliant concepts until your attacker is in a country that thinks extradition treaty is a type of dessert. And don't get me wrong, mutual legal assistance works. It's just that cybercriminals move faster than bureaucracy. Crime is happening in milliseconds, while legal cooperation are just producing fax machine noises. I have a question for you. If a hacker from one country steals money from a bank server hosted in another, and using servers also in 3 more, whose job is to prosecute? I'll give you the answer. All of them want it, until they realize how massive it is. And then suddenly everybody needs a library. Even the hackers are confused. They probably need a map, not of geography, but of legal competence. Cybercrime didn't break international law. It simply revealed something we never wanted to admit. Our legal system was never built for a world without borders. And this isn't just about banks or hospitals. We are talking about the right to privacy, the right to access justice, the integrity of the democratic elections, and also the fundamental human rights in the digital age. When your identity is stolen online, where do you go? Which courthouse do you enter? What judge can rule on a crime committed? Everywhere and nowhere? Maybe you are questioning yourself about the legal effort so far. Yes, we are trying. Take the Budapest Convention as an example. International cooperation task forces, EU regulations on cybersecurity, UN discussions on cyber norms, and AI governance frameworks that are emerging worldwide. Progress exists, but it's slow. Too slow for a world where cyber criminals already use AI to produce crimes on a scale. Sometimes it feels like international law is Windows 95 and cyber criminals are running like they are quantum computing. So what do? We need a new legal architecture built for a connected world, international cyber tribunals, fast-track digital cooperation, harmonized standards and penalties also, clear rules for state-sponsored cyberattacks, and don't forget about global digital rights and protection. No, I'm not proposing we hand every hacker a textbook of international law, though it might slow them down. But we must build legal guardrails for a world where data, identity, and power transcend borders. We once believed sovereignty lived on maps, let's say. Now sovereignty lives in data, identity, and code. Borders are lines on a page, but online we are one word. And if crime can cross borders in milliseconds, justice cannot wait months for an email translation request. This is not just a question of technology. It is a question of justice, human rights, and the rule of law. The future belongs not to the nation that controls the land, but to the society that protects its people, whether they stand on soil or on a server. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have one last question for you. If cybercrime has no borders, why should justice? Thank you very much.